Disclaimer. I am a podcaster, motivational speaker, and full-time counselor. And here on this platform, it is my job to talk about current affairs and trending topics that have been discussed, posted, and even floating around on social media. I do not claim to be the voice for all, nor do I claim to know it all. Therefore, remember this if you remember nothing at all. It is okay that we agree to disagree, as long as it is respectful. Every Friday at 7 p.m., I will be talking about whatever I like, and you will have the opportunity to share your voice. Now, if you can handle it, have a seat, and if you can't, feel free to exit stage left. With that being said, let the discussion begin. What's up, guys? Hello, hello, hello. Yep, it's Friday, and we are getting ready to have a conversation. Okay, so what is going on? What's going on? What's going on, people? What's this little thing running across here like that? Okay, we're going to need to stop that. Let's get that together. What's up, guys? It's your girl D from the Voice Gathering Live podcast show. Thank you for joining me today. It is Friday, and we are about to get into this conversation. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad that you are here. If you're not here, I hope that you will come soon. I see somebody already in the comments. Hello, Latifa. Thank you for being on both pages, Facebook and YouTube. If you are going to be commenting and sharing and getting into the conversation, everybody, please try to comment in YouTube. You also can comment in Facebook if you can't comment in YouTube, but we want to keep the traffic always going over to YouTube because we're trying to build the platform over there. Facebook is always a backup for us, and we'll share that information as well there. But hello, 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 hello. I see Miss Tawana. Hello, Tawana. It's been a long time. Welcome to the show. Hello, Dolores. Welcome to the show, everybody. Don't forget to click the like button. We want to give a good number of people time to get into the room before we start today's conversation. As you can see from the title, when you came in, it is about relationship. Healthy and unhealthy, successful and unsuccessful relationship. What we want to do is get right raw. If you're in a relationship that is healthy and is working for you and you have done the homework to make it work, then share some of that wisdom in the comments so that we can learn from that. If you are divorced and you live in a fabulous life divorce and you've learned some things from being in a relationship that now you will go into another relationship but different, share those comments in the share that information in the comment as well. Please do us a favor, share with us, because what we want to do is learn from each other and make some changes in our lives for the better. And I wanted to talk about relationships because during this quarantine time, many of us are at home or wherever we are, and we're in a space, large or small, with somebody maybe that we call our significant other or that we want to be in a relationship with. And the question becomes are you able to recognize a healthy relationship or an unhealthy relationship? That's the $1 million question. Are you able to recognize a healthy relationship or unhealthy relationship? That's what we want to talk about today. So I'm giving people time to get into the room because what I hate doing is spending a lot of time going backwards, and it's not fair to the people that show up on time. And then the people who show up late, they have good comments, and I want to kind of get them in the process as well. But nevertheless, let's give people a few moments to get here and join the conversation. Right now, I see we got 4 people here. Hello, Jasmine. Thank you for showing up. We got 4 people and we got 4 likes. Okay, liking that. We got 8 people watching now. So maybe they haven't said anything in the comments. Um, um, we got 8 people watching, 4 likes, and so 9 people. Hey, that's right. Come on, guys. Come on into the room. We got 9 people watching. So what we want to do is give people enough time. I think that if we can get to 10 people watching, then I'm going to go ahead and start the conversation. I don't want to be too long, although I'm never too long when the conversation is good, especially when you guys are participating with me. So, as I say, let the conversation just go and be free. But we want it to be meaningful. Um, so let's give it another couple minutes just to see if people going to. It's by 7:10 we'll start. It's 7:07 now, and that means we gave them 10 minutes. Um, I don't know what that little thing is running across there, but it's working my everlasting nerves. Get off there, girl. What is that? In the meantime, how has everybody been? How has everyone been? How have you been? Um, how's everyone doing? Tawana, I know you laughing, Tawana. Girl, that little thing that keep running across here is like working my nerves. And I got my little name down there, and the title and stuff, and then here you go, want to show up, and look, there I go again. No, bye, get off in here. We will not have my name today. You guys know who I am, so come on off there. People saw my name early on, so let's just keep it moving. Hello, Lakeisha. Welcome to the show. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. All right, so we got 9 people. It's still 7:07. Okay. So, like I said, we'll start at. Thank you for the likes, everybody. We are going to start at 7:10, and that will give us at least one more. Hopefully, one more person would join the room, and that will be 9 people in the room, and we can go ahead and shoot off the conversation. So, 7:10 or 9 people watching, we will start chatting. Look how people rekindling their conversation and saying hello to people. It's nice. It's nice. Listen, I'm like a couple of steps away from having to look down when I can look straight up. Some equipment came in. Thank you, God, for allowing that to happen and for me to be able to do that. So awesome. All right, we got 2 minutes, guys. I see you, Latifah. I hear you. Hectic, depressed, working your behind off because it's mandatory OT time. Wow. They even took back your vacation, but I'm here today. I appreciate you showing up. I haven't seen you in a while, Latifah. It's always good to have you in the conversation because you bring such an interesting piece to the conversation when we're sharing. So thanks. There's a few people new that we haven't seen in a while. Yes. We got 1 minute. Hey, D. I'm not taking it to the head today. I got that straw. I got that straw. All right. I'm letting you guys catch up because when we start this conversation, we want it to run nice and smooth. Okay, it is 7:10. We got 9 people watching, so let the show what begin. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you guys for being here. So I wanted to have a conversation today about relationships. A lot of people I talk to, I'm associates with, and friends with, are in relationships, and at times we tend to talk about the ups and downs of being in a relationship and what consists of a healthy relationship or not healthy relationship, and for me, I wanted to just kind of figure out with you guys, what do you consist of as a healthy relationship? For me, a healthy relationship is compromise, right? It is a compromise thing. It's something that we don't know how to do, but expect. What is a healthy relationship for you guys? Because these are some of the things that I find in my own relationships. My own relationship is oftentimes something I have to deal with, and that is the ups and downs of negotiating, compromising, my style, and even when you're upset and you become angry in the relationship, you become bitter in the relationship, you find yourself being lacking the communication skills to actually talk about what your needs are with the person in that relationship, right? And those things are things that hurt the relationship truly, truly bad. They hurt them so, so bad because you're trying to say, okay, listen, I need you to understand that I'm in need of some things and I'm in need of you to change in some things. And you're like, okay, well, what are those things? What are those things? Well, first and foremost, you have to be able to know how to have balance in your relationship. You need to have balance. And if you don't have balance in the relationship by way of what? An effective communication. If you don't have effective communication, forget it. The relationship is going to fail. It's going to fail. How do I know that? I have been in relationships. I am in a relationship, and I can tell you that when I'm at my most frustrating time is when the communication is not effective. When you can't hear me and I can't hear you. Or when you say you hear me, but what you hear is words, but you don't hear me enough to understand what I'm communicating. You know, like that Charlie Brown walk, 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 walk. I think a lot of people deal with that in their relationships because they don't know how to be an effective communicator. And then, even when things are calm and you're trying to have this kind of conversation where it's an exchange, it's a two-way thing. It's a two-way thing. I want you to see this if you can see this. It's a two-way thing. It's a sender and a receiver. Both parties play a part in this. If I'm sending a message, it is your job to receive the message. And if you're sending the message, it's my job to receive the message. But if you are already in the thought of thinking of a response to what I'm saying in the time I'm saying it, then you're not actually effectively listening to me. It's the Charlie Brown listen. Wonk, 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 wonk. That's what it is. You have not heard one thing I said, good, bad, or indifferent. What you do or what the person may be doing is lip service and not ear service. And that, when I tell you that that thing can damper the dating relationship, it can damper the marriage, it could really hurt the relationship so bad to the point it's not repairable. It's just not. We often keep saying, well, listen, can can you hear me? I can hear you. Can we talk? But when you're talking about what's important to you and the person receiving the information or thereof don't know how to listen to the information, you're still at a wall where you can't get through. So then the time that you're putting into communicating your needs, you then feel bitter and frustrated and angry. And that anger turns into aggression in many ways, verbally, for some people physically, because they don't feel they're being heard. They don't. They find themselves saying, well, wait a minute. You tell me to tell you what my needs are, but you don't invest in listening to my needs. And this is not just women talking to men and men not listening to what she's saying. This is a two-way street. It's a two-way street. There's oftentimes men are talking about what their needs are, and we as women don't hear them. We don't. We say we listening, but we don't. While they talking, we complaining. Or we feel that our needs or need to be heard is more important than their need to be heard. It's a two-way street. It's a two-way street. So I want to pull back a little bit because we will revisit a couple of these things that I'm talking about. But what I want us to look at for a second is this. You start dating. You find someone you have interest in, for whatever that is that attracted you to that person. You have this interest in them. My first question to everybody who is in the comments, if you're in a relationship currently now, or you're looking to get into a relationship, are you or have you dated with purpose? Are you dating with purpose? Are you in the marriage with purpose? That's first foundation on the ground. You know, when you see somebody that you're attracted to, or you went and you said, I do, and you walked down the aisle or however you did you do it with purpose? What was it? And I'm not talking about the sex purpose, because you could have kept that just as sex. It could have just been sex, nothing else, if that's what worked for you. But did you date with purpose? I see you guys in the comments, and I will be responding. Dating with purpose. Now, if you went into the relationship dating with purpose and the person you're in the relationship with did not come into the relationship dating with purpose, then do you know what you have right there? You have what I call is an uneven yoke relationship. Now, don't go biblical on me. You can, but that's not what I'm talking about at this moment. That's not what I'm talking about at this very moment. I'm talking about dating with purpose. And if one person in the dating relationship was not dating with purpose, going into it with purpose, and you were going into it with a different purpose or purpose, it's already built on a foundation that's not solid and stable. First and foremost, right there, the pillars that's building that relationship is so weak because somebody came into the relationship not with purpose. They probably came in because it was sex. They came in because they like you, but not like you enough to want to be committed. Many people enter relationships for different reasons. They do. That's what they do. So when we're in the relationship and we're like, oh, this is not giving me what I need, or you said you were going to do this, or you were going to do that, or this, I thought it was going to be this. And now you have to go back and ask yourself. So go get yourself a mirror, look in the mirror and ask yourself, did I come into the relationship with purpose? Let's look back at some of the comments. Now, guys, you have to understand when I'm looking away from the camera, I'm looking at the comments. I'm not ignoring. I'm not all over the place. Some people were saying like, oh, it looked like you kind of like was like, no, I got to look at the comments because this is a live stream conversation. So I see what Eric says that people have to be willing to learn. Yep, Eric, but many don't. That's lip service for a lot of people, Eric. A lot of people. I'm willing to learn from you. I hate the stereotype. Men be like, I'm feeling you. I want you to, until you now have sex with them. This goes for women too, but this is a big thing that I noticed about men. And the next thing but wait a minute. You're not willing to learn from me anymore. So that's out the window. Um, yes, Tawana, with intentions, commitment, relationships that leads to marriages. Yes. A lot of time, one person dating with purpose come in there with the hope that this will lead to you being my significant other. And the other person said, well, I need you to be my significant other just for tonight. Way loaded. Got to go back and see what you said, Jasmine. Um, learn and grow. You can learn absolutely nothing. Knowledge. True. Latifa, yes. Doing, dating. My husband and I both had different agendas when we stated, we worked together. Mm-hmm. 3 kids. Absolutely. Some people can get to that, Jasmine, right? Building and creating purpose. But I, just for conversation purposes, I think these, and guys, guess what? I'm not coming to you as the expert in relationships and marriages and dating. I'm not saying I'm an expert that I wrote books, but I have dated and put a ring on it. And I can tell you that I pay attention to other people's relationship. And a lot of people enter these relationships after the fact, trying to learn what their purpose is, opposed to coming into the relationship with purpose. So they're wondering, like, why, I can't keep him happy. Why that I'm dating this guy, he's not interested. I'm dating this guy, he's not interested. The sex is good because we're having sex. So they like that, but they're not willing to make a commitment. Or, she wants to spend, 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 but she's not willing to commit to me and I be the only man in her life. I say that you just didn't date with purpose, in my opinion. Because I don't think you have to enter a relationship to know that it has purpose. I think you if you build your toolbox, you can learn that before getting into a committed, keyword committed relationship, you can understand that this relationship has the great potential of having purpose because I'm bringing my purpose line to the equation and he's bringing his purpose line to the equation. So we're coming in here with intention, with purpose. No, not one of us want to be married. Both of us want to be married. Not I just want to have a baby. He wants to be a father. Aha. If a man is not willing to, Lord, my nephew, if a man is not willing to listen, I like that. If a man is not willing to listen, his purpose was to use you. Absolutely. Lord, my nephew, he just always wants to call me when I'm on a show. Sorry, guys. So again, right, I agree. Okay, purpose really doesn't matter when you're in your 20s. Hmm. When does purpose start to matter, Jasmine? Because once you start dating, once you start being interested in another person, I think that is when you need to start learning purpose. People try to learn purpose in their 30s, their 40s. Well, no. When you start dating, you should be. I hate shooting on people, but when you start to date, in my opinion, is when you start learning purpose. Not when you get in your 30s, like, oh, now I want to have a family. Well, so you can still play the role. You can play the, I don't want to say play the field. You can still date, but date with purpose. So if you're dating with purpose that this is only going to be a sexual relationship, then that's purpose for you. But I've had many conversations with many people in the chat, and I can tell you that many of these people were like, no, honey, I wasn't looking for sex. I'm not looking for someone to come in and out of my bed. I'm looking for something a little bit more steady. And little maybe for some of the people that was not putting a ring on the finger, but maybe a long committed relationship with dating that one person. By that time, you should know what purpose is as far as I'm concerned. The sex part of the relationship is too much of a big deal with people. Oftentimes, women are giving too. Oh, Lord Eric, you need your own show. Okay. You need to be you lucky you making this big great move for you and your family, because I would be like, I need you to co-host. I agree. I do agree. I think that also times there are some women who believe that that's the way to get him, because she thinks she's so great in the bedroom, honey, and that he's so good in the bedroom that that's going to make him find his purpose with her. And then guess what? Oh, we're in fairy tale land. Until you wake up, the orgasm is over, and the relationship was where it started, nowhere. I get what Jasmine is saying. I absolutely get it. But for all of us who do have children, for all of us who have nieces and nephews who are young, who have not experienced this opportunity, I just want to say this is where we start learning and shaping. Because again, if I'm to raise my son to date this young girl, I want to start training him to date with purpose. I don't want him to think that just because you're in your 20s, you should not have purpose in dating in your relationship. No, I don't. I don't want him to have that. I want him to learn to date with purpose. I want my daughter to learn to date with purpose. If a young boy is chasing after her, listen, is your purpose that you're just hot and you just feeling him and this is a sexual thing? And yes, you need time to figure that out, but you need to understand what dating with purpose is, not later. Let's learn this now. And then you can say, okay, well, this is not a purposeful relationship for me. This is just dating. So I have no stronghold to wanting anything serious out of this relationship while I'm in my 20s. I just want to date. Then if you know that that's what you want, then keep that. Keep that. But what we learn young is what we start manifesting later on in our lives. So if we learn young how to date with purpose, I believe that you're able to kind of wean out, okay, he just want to have sex with me, and guess what, I'm not that horny, so I don't want to have sex with you. If you're not willing to date with purpose, meaning that if you want to sex me, then let me just be your only girlfriend, if that's what she wants or if that's what he wants. I'm just saying, date with purpose. Because I if you do your research, divorce rate is so big. It's so big because people don't know how to what? Let's go back to this slide again. People do not know how to be an effective communicator. An effective communication starts in the beginning where purpose in the relationship is start. When you're learning to have a purposeful relationship, you ought to be learning how to be an effective communicator. So if you are 21 years old and you're just saying, "Oh, he hot. Damn, she good. She look good." And I like her, but I'm not looking for a girlfriend right now, then say that. Effective communicator. Then she understands or he understands that at this time, I'm not dating with purpose. This is just really strictly an agreed upon relationship that I'm willing to have with this person. That's all about sex right now. All right. Ooh, y'all getting it in, getting it in, getting it in. Hey, Damien. I miss you. Glad you're here. Let me see. Ew, my husband. Oh, Jasmine said husband got it. Okay, Jasmine. Listen, good for you. Good for you. He got it early and y'all married. Beautiful. But understand that that thing that you did or however it's working for you does not work for everybody. And this conversation is about getting people to look at, let's start the foundation, dating with purpose, understanding how to be an effective communicator in the relationship with dating with purpose, and understand that it is a give and take. There's no such thing as one-sided relationship. There isn't. You're going to give and you're going to take the good and the bad. You're going to. And let me tell you something. I don't see in these day and times a lot of relationships are lasting, child, 30 years, let alone 60 years, 80 years. Do some googling. You'll see some people who've been married for so long, and that doesn't mean they didn't have their trials and tribulations in the marriage. It just means that they probably were what? A give and take in the relationship. They were effective communicators in the relationship, possibly. To last 80 years, you had to have some good communication skills. I'm sorry. Yep. Jasmine, I get it. I get it. But understand this. If you sit in a counseling session with people and you talk about their relationship, which you know that's what I do. I talk about the addiction piece of it, but I do the whole biopsychosocial on a person. So I'm talking to them about relationships. I'm talking to them about understanding their family relationship, meaning their parents and what happened when they were children. I get to hear a lot of these different things, and you're absolutely right. Many young people in their 20s are not dating with purpose or thinking that relationship is that really. I mean, sorry, not relationship. Sex is really a big thing, but it is a big thing. It's a very big thing. It's a very big thing. It is. I don't think that you will stay in your relationship with your husband if your husband was lousy in sex, or would you? I'm just saying. Sex is a way of expressing in a healthy relationship the connection between the two. What the younger generation uses is sex is to get it off, get theirs, get their rocks off. That's what they use it for. So in your 20s, when you're naive, no one's taught you effective communication. No one told you that once you have sex, it's a give and take. Oftentimes, people in the 20s are not trying to make sure the other person get off. They're trying to get theirs off. So let's be clear. And this is the problem in relationships. And those behaviors, in my opinion, foster over into your adulthood, which trickles into your dating and then trickles into a marriage that you think you have purpose in. I'm just saying. I mean, how do we keep it fresh and exciting? Well, first and foremost, you got to have foundation. Relationship is work. The relationship is work. It's work. I was in a training, and when I tell you that I was talking to people, I'm like, listen, people look at the outside of a relationship when they're not in a relationship, and then they probably look at all the materialistic things that you've accumulated in that marriage or that dating long term relationship, or you look the part, so they think like, oh, this is beautiful, baby. Marriage is a job. It is a 24/7, 365 days, 12-month job. It's a job because it's not a job when you're only thinking about you. Then it's no work. You don't have to, it doesn't require you to do anything extra, put any effort into it. It's a job. To maintain a healthy relationship requires work. It's give and take. It's balance. The relationship cannot sway one side for one person and then the other person is depleted. No, it cannot. The relationship, to me, in my opinion, the relationships I've been in, the relationships I've come in contact with, don't last that way. They don't last. They're more heartache, stress than it is enjoyment and having a good time and appreciating the relationship. So someone so young, don't even know what their purpose is. Jasmine, I agree with you. I absolutely agree. And remember, guys, this show is what we can agree to disagree. I agree with your last comment. I do. I'm not disagreeing with that. But what I don't see in your comment is I'm saying that before they start dating, are they being taught the tools to understand what dating with purpose means? Because I know there's some people out there that do. You know, these ones that wear these what is it called? Commitment rings, value rings, whatever it is that they value. They're getting to know. They're learning. You can learn anything you want to learn if you want to learn it. And maybe people in the comments have not took the time to, well, let me rewind that. The people in the comments who are older, not in their 20s, been married, divorced, currently married, been in a relationship for a number of years, whatever. Um, right now, you may not be dealing with that. But my thing is, ask yourself if you have children, are you trying to raise your children to understand what dating with purpose means? So that when they start to date, they understand that. Now, if they don't choose to use it in their relationship as they start to date, then that's a different story. But if they don't have the tools, of course, Jasmine, that comment is has validity to it. Of course it does. Because they weren't taught that. They were just taught that, okay, oh, you like that little girl, you like that little boy. Okay. Well, don't you do nothing. Well, did you teach them what dating with purpose mean? And how could anyone teach them that if they didn't know what dating with purpose mean themselves or they didn't practice that? It has to start at some point and grow. Absolutely. I agree. Yeah, who wants to waste time? Listen, don't think that these little 20-year-old boys don't get their little heart broken and it for them it really wasn't about the sex. It could have been, but that they were attracted to the girl. She was pretty and he liked her. Listen, it happens. It happens. But little fast Sally was not feeling him. You know what I'm saying? Cuz she wasn't trying to date with purpose. She just wanted to have a good time. And we want to chunk that up, or the way I read your comments, Jasmine, is that when you're in your 20s. I get it, girl. I was in my 20s. I get it. I get it. But I do know that when I was younger, my parents, I understood what dating with purpose and uh, marriage, I knew what that looked like. Many people today, I hate saying that generalizing, but it appears that many people young in their 20s, because you keep going back there, that they don't know what that is. Why don't they know that? Because they weren't taught it. There was no example in the household for them to understand what that is. And I do believe a single household parent can teach their daughter or son how to date with purpose so that they can avoid some of these heartaches, disappointments, waste of time relationships. I'm not saying in your 20s you're ready to get married. This is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about where we were at, dating with purpose. I agree, Latifa. These days, social media, it really doesn't last. When you got social media in the playing in your head, and then everybody giving you the false pretense that what it's going to look like on the other end once we just start talking and chaba, reality sets in. That's what happens. People are like, oh, wait a minute, this is not fun anymore. Why is it not fun? Because it's work. This relationship requires you to put the work in. I'm just saying. Okay, we got 13 people. What? Let me just remind you people. Hold on. Come on. What do you think about today's conversation? I see people chatting and agreeing and disagreeing, and that's okay. That's okay. I mean, this is what we're learning from one another. Let me put y'all all to the test right now. How many are you would say you're in a purposeful relationship? How many of you would say that you're in a purposeful relationship? Because again, purposeful relationship is balance. Okay, what did you say, Miss Jasmine? But okay, but you had that awareness, Jasmine, that at that time in your 20s, you were that kind of dating with purpose for you and you didn't want that. Okay, you knew that. But we're talking about a lot of people did not, do not know that. So I get, thank goodness you did know that in your 20s. That's something you wasn't looking for. And right now you have a husband and children and all those things. And that's a beautiful thing. Great. It's absolutely great. But how many frogs has you kissed? The ones that try to get you to believe that the relationship was purposeful, that it had potential. Not in a relationship right now, Latifa. Okay. And Latifa, you're not in a relationship? You don't have to answer this. Are you not in a relationship because you don't want to be in a relationship or you can't find a purposeful relationship? Cuz that's okay too. Cuz if you can't find it, that would imply that you are open and looking, but you haven't found it. All right, exactly. You didn't date with purpose, but you wish you did. And I think a lot of people, and I know Latifa personally, and a lot of people, you know, didn't do that but wanted to or didn't know how to do it and tried to figure it out as they went about it. And honey, that required kissing a lot of frogs, a lot of people lying to you, a lot of people getting your goods, thinking that you got one thing, and the next thing you know, like, wait, what? Wait, what is this? So we not in a relationship? Wait, this is not good. Wait, we don't have balance. I don't know. And that answers the question. Want a purposeful relationship, but can't find it. Because I don't think it's easy to find a purposeful relationship. You want to know how I know that? Or at least why my opinion is that? Because all you got to do is look on social media. Check out Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, all these different things. And you will see that it appears a lot of people are not looking for a purposeful relationship. They're just looking for relation. I didn't do it, but I wanted to. I'm sorry. I might have missed your comment, T Chanel. Hey, I'm glad you're here. I'm sorry. What does that apply to? Let me see. Wait a minute. We had a purposeful. We had purpose, or so it seemed. We were ready to move in. The relationship ended 3 weeks ago. Okay. Thanks for sharing, brother XXX. Um. Oh my goodness. All this looking over here. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I thank you, Tisha, for clarifying that. Okay. Got it. From my understanding, purpose moving in a certain direction. Oh, talking about direction. Okay, there he go again. Look at that doggone Eric. Because talking about that, this is what a lot of people have a one person going old way, another person going new way. And what that means is we're not going in the same way. You have to have a purposeful relationship, in my opinion. You have to be able to be going in the same direction. Now, that doesn't mean you're running the same speed. That's what relationship is about. It's about being able to embrace and hold the person down as they go about this journey with you. Oftentimes, you don't want to be 20 meters ahead of a person, and the person you're looking back like, where are they? I can't even find them. No, something's wrong. Something's wrong, in my opinion. I think it's something wrong. And listen, again, I'm not saying I'm the expert. I'm talking about from experience. I'm talking about from conversation. I'm talking about from being a counselor and doing counseling sessions and just putting this whole thing together. That what I'm talking about is not far-fetched. I'm telling you that oftentimes I talk to young women, and when they are boo-hooing, brokenhearted, getting beat upside the head by this guy who she thinks she loved, they never dated with purpose. They had there was no purpose in that relationship. What it was built on lies, promises, broken potential. Sorry. I should have had Miss Jasmine Gillett. I gave you the whole nother Jasmine. Miss Jasmine Mitchell, honey. She ain't even Mitchell no more. Let me stop. But that name is Mitchell on this, so I was right. Because purpose does not mean you want to kiss a bunch of frogs, though. Okay. Okay. So, while we spinning our wheels on that, hold on. While we spinning our wheels on that, don't forget this little guy right here. Don't forget this and that share button. I'm going to have to start putting up a thing for you guys to be sharing. So my question is, what does a relationship look like to you? And what we've been seeing in the comments, we all have really different views, similar, but really different views about young dating and dating with purpose and the lack thereof when you're in your 20s. Oh, yes, child, when you're 15 and 16. Okay, I get all that. But when you start approaching adulthood, and although many people who approach 21 is still very much 12 years old, the number's just backwards, I get that. So I understand where Jasmine is coming from. But again, do you know what kind of relationship you're in or you're looking for? First question. Do you know how to identify balance in a relationship? Do you require the person in your life to have balance with you? How do you get that? How do you get the person in your life to bring about the balance so that you two, one person is not working harder than the other person? There has to be balance. That scale cannot weigh too much like this, and then you find something's it's off. It's off. It's off. And it might require us to do the work to figure out what it is that's causing us not to have that kind of balance in our relationship. As I talked about it, it's a give and take. I give, you take. In exchange, you give, I take. That goes to, I'll say something to you. So, honey, come, I want to talk to you. Why my communication has to be turned into, oh, you want to nag? Oh, you want to complain? Oh, you're not happy? Oh, you frustrated? When all of those feelings that you're identifying, yes, I'm feeling them because you weren't listening to me when I was saying I need to talk. I have something to say. I need you to be able to come and say to me, I want to talk to you. Let's sit down and talk. All these outside distractions outside the relationship that's knocking on your head, just taking your attention away from the commitment, the purpose in the relationship. And then in that, what happens is frustration, short-tempered. You have no time for the other person. Then the relationship don't have a chance. I'm just saying. That doesn't mean that I have my heart broke. Don't read too much into this. A lot of this may apply to me and a lot of this may not apply to me. full disclosure, we're here learning about relationships so that when you, like Jasmine with 3 kids, Tisha now with 3 children, with Tawana and her young king in her home and her younger daughter, and just Lakeisha and her 2 beautiful girls, and everybody else who have children, that we change the trajectory of how we raise our children opposed to how we were raised or what we experienced when we were younger. Is that you'll understand what purpose means. By example, Jasmine, you and your husband showing what purpose means in the relationship to your children at their age now. That they have the privilege, the opportunity to have 2 parents in the home. And right now, those babies can learn what purpose is. They don't have to wait to learn how to spell it, to understand what purpose look like in a relationship. That you make it look a certain way for them so they'll be able to apply this later on down the line, much further down the line. Okay, what is this book? The book of love language really helped our relationship. Okay. Um, I'll check into that book. I mean, I have a lot of relationship books in my office. Let's see who's over there. Okay. Nobody's, oh, nobody's over there right now. So, yes, the love language. Definitely would check it out. I'll check it out. And anybody who's having some difficulty in their relationships, it worked for Jasmine. Maybe we all want to get this book and check it out and see if the chapters in the book helps us. Because I can tell you that for me, relationship is just work. It's work. You got to be considerate of the other person. You have to be an effective communicator for the other person. You have to give for the other person. You have to sacrifice for the other person, because in the long run, in a healthy relationship, those things that you're doing, in my opinion, comes back to you. When they don't come back to you, there is an unbalance in your relationship. There's unbalance in the relationship. If I'm complaining more than you complaining, then maybe it's not really me because I'm complaining. It's you because you're not complaining. You're not speaking up. You're not talking. You're not communicating. You're not using your skills or your tools. And if you lack them, not learning how to build you some tools. Look, I get it. This conversation may not apply to everyone. You may feel like Jasmine that you did the work and in your 20s. Jasmine, let me stop calling her because she's going to call me. It's like you called me out. But I am a little bit, because if it worked, then let's take a chapter from Jasmine's book. In her 20s, based on what I quickly glanced at the comments, was that she did not, at that age in her 20s, was looking for that kind of purpose. Okay, I think many of us in our 20s probably wasn't. But I do know that a lot of people who talk about the failure of a relationship, when I ask them about, well, what was the example of a purposeful relationship, or what did a relationship look like to you when you were younger? I don't know. I don't know what that looked like. So no way in the world could they be trying to date with purpose, because they didn't even know what it looked like. They didn't even have that tool. And I'm saying now that we can actually teach our children to have tools so that when they start dating, if it's just sex for them in their 20s, then they know this was just sex for me. It was nothing else, just sex. I wasn't looking for any strong commitment. If he went his way or she went her way, I wasn't really hurt by it, because it was just sex. And I'm telling you, if you're telling me that based on the people in here, I don't believe that. Not the age bracket that a lot of us right now. I struggle to believe that. Absolutely, communication is key, along with commitment, and that from there is when we learn that, wow, you hear me. I don't have to scream. I don't have to break down and cry. I don't have to walk away from you and turn off the communication altogether, because you hear me. You don't just see my lips moving. You don't see me appearing to just be nagging. You actually hear me. And you hear me and is willing to do something about what you hear. You're willing to hear and do something about it. It's just not like, well, listen here, you thirsty? Well, go ahead, drink. Okay. Well, when you going to drink? Well, I'm thirsty. It's right in your hand. You're doing something about what you have. Relationship is sacrifice. You are going to give up something to get something. And it may require you to give up a piece of you so that you can get the whole you. But if you just constantly breaking off pieces of you, giving, trying to obtain something down the line, and you don't find yourself getting anything, then you have to ask yourself, why I'm doing all this work and I'm not getting anything in return? It's not being reciprocated. Like, why not? And I'm trying to bang you over the head so that you can get it in your head. I need you to make some changes. I need you to sacrifice. Give up some of those things that make you comfortable so that we both can be comfortable. That's relationships, in my opinion. That balance, compromise, it's all those things. So when you find yourself, or you know people that's coming to you crying in your ear, walking around unfulfilled, but you know about their relationship, expert, nope. But I know enough to say, oh, that don't sound like that feels good. Oop. Well, wait. When you say you try to talk to him, he tunes you out, make no time, make up all the excuses in the world to why he's not being able to give you what you need, when you just want him to just listen. And from listening, consider what was said and then make some efforts to address what was communicated. You can't be talking 13, 15 years, all these years down the line, and you're still doing the same exact thing that you were doing from the beginning. To me, that's selfishness. You're only doing what makes you comfortable. You're not doing it for the greater good of the relationship. It's compromising. That's what I think it is. I think relationship is that. I think it's compromising and it's sacrifice. I truly, truly do. Is that little thing running across here? Let's see. Is it trying to give me a trick again? Oh, it's not even showing up. All right, just looking at you guys' comments from me. Moving. Good comments, guys. Really good comments. The feedback is awesome. Okay. Well, look, I thought that today's conversation was a good conversation to have because, again, oftentimes, in my opinion, those single parent homes come from people who didn't date with purpose. Willing to put the work in, then maybe the marriage or the relationship that could possibly lead to marriage has a better chance. Communicated and not be on the defense, but be able to record. I know that this woman, yes, we do. Okay, so I'm not going to stretch the show too long. I think we did a good job talking about this. We're actually coming up on 8 o'clock anyway, so it was the hour. You guys having a conversation about balance, give and takes, sacrifice, compromise, and effective communication. I thank you guys for opening up and being transparent and not being defensive or feeling like you were being under attack. Your relationship was definitely not the platform for this conversation. This platform for the conversation was just being an effective communicator and learning the difference in a healthy relationship and not a healthy relationship. So I hope that you guys would definitely do me a favor before you go. If you haven't already, make sure you give this show the beautiful yellow thumbs up. And also, please don't forget to drop your comments. I'm sorry, your diamonds in the comment section. Let us know what you're thinking, that you thought the show was great. Also, please click the share button. Share this show to your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you go. Share the show. Share, share, share. Please share. And with that being said, guys, I truly appreciate your time. Claire, I truly appreciate your time. I hope that you will come back again. See us on Tuesdays. And then also, this breaking up is getting on my nerves. See us on Tuesdays for Tea Time with VG and on Fridays with the Big Live Show. Until next time, guys, stay blessed.